All right, let's talk about bottlenecks. You spend weeks, months carefully building out your home lab. You've got your services running, your automation is humming, but then you try to move a big file or spin up a new VM, and everything just slows to a crawl. It's almost always the network, isn't it? That single gigabit connection that felt so fast 5 years ago is now the weakest link in your entire setup. Well, this week might have finally changed that. We've got some killer new hardware that brings 10 gig networking to the Mini PC form factor. Yeah, you heard me right. Plus, we've got a critical update for anyone running Kubernetes that you absolutely cannot ignore. And of course, some slick new tools for managing your Proxmox and self-hosted empire. This is your weekly dose of real infrastructure news. Let's get into it. First up, let's talk Proxmox. If you're managing more than one cluster, you know the pain of juggling multiple browser tabs. It's functional, sure, but it's not elegant. A new tool called PveSphere just hit version 1.0 and it's promising to solve that exact problem. It's a centralized, web-based management platform for all your Proxmox environments. One dashboard to rule them all. Nodes, storage, VMs, backups, migrations, the whole 9 yards. You spin it up with a single Docker command. Now, the pitch is clean. Almost. Too clean. The Homelab and developer community have met it with a healthy dose of skepticism. You see words like production ready on a version 1.0 product and, well, if you've ever been on call during an outage, your eye starts to twitch. But the promise is definitely there. It's a project to watch, especially if you're tired of tab hell in your browser. It addresses a real need, but maybe, just maybe, wait for version 1.1 before migrating your entire production environment to it. Just a thought. All right, container people, I need you to listen up for this one. This is important. The Kubernetes community has officially announced that the community-maintained ingress-nginx controller is being retired. The final curtain call is set for March 2026. Let me be clear about what this means. After that date, the repository will be archived. No more releases, no more bug fixes, and most critically, no more security patches. Your existing clusters will continue to route traffic, but you'll be running an unmaintained internet-facing component with increasing security risks. This isn't a drill. This is a planned, controlled retirement because the project became too widely used and too security sensitive for the current maintainer team to handle safely. The writing has been on the wall for a while, but now we have a hard deadline. So what do? The official recommendation is to start planning your migration now. The future is the Gateway API, a more expressive, role-oriented, and powerful way to manage ingress traffic. There are already several great implementations from vendors like Traffic, Istio, and others. There are even tools like Ingress to Gateway that can help automate the conversion of your old ingress manifests. Don't sleep on this. Start inventorying your clusters, identify your high-risk applications, and begin testing a migration path. March 2026 sounds far away, but in infrastructure time, it's just around the corner. Okay, let's end on some good news. Some really good news. For years, the holy grail for many of us home labbers has been a small, quiet, power-efficient server that doesn't compromise on network speeds. We've been stuck at 1 gig or maybe 2.5 gig Ethernet in the Mini PC world for what feels like an eternity. This week, Beelink dropped the SER10 series, and it's a game changer. These are mini PCs built on AMD's new Ryzen AI processors. But that's not the headline. The headline is this: 10 gigabit Ethernet. Finally, this is huge. It means your little NUC-sized box can now be a proper NAS, a high-speed virtualization host, or a video editing server without that network bottleneck. The SER10 Pro and Max models come with the new AMD chips, DDR5 memory, and that beautiful 10 gigabit port. The Pro has soldered memory, while the Max has user upgradable SO-DIMM slots, which is a nice option. This is the hardware trend I've been waiting for. We're seeing a massive shift away from loud, power-hungry enterprise servers in the Homelab, and this is the kind of hardware that makes it possible. Quiet, capable, and now incredibly fast. And while we're on the topic of cool new things, a new self-hosted project called Scanopy caught my eye. It's a web-based network visualization tool that automatically discovers your hosts and services and generates slick interactive diagrams. If you're tired of trying to keep your network documentation up to date in a spreadsheet, this is definitely worth a look. It runs in Docker, naturally. So there you have it, from critical infrastructure migrations to hardware that finally breaks through a long-standing barrier. This is what I love about running a home lab. It's not just about tinkering, it's a smaller, more agile version of the real enterprise world. The challenges are the same, and the solutions we build here, the skills we learn, they matter. What are you most excited about? Are you finally going to build that 10 gig NAS, or are you dreading that ingress migration? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-world Linux and infrastructure content.